Hello everybody. Welcome back to another session on logic development. We're discussing concept of arrays. Yesterday, I showed you an example how we can eliminate need for nested if by using concept of arrays. And the assignment that I had given you was also based on the same idea. And I am very disappointed to see only two people making an attempt. Sagar has made an attempt to solve this particular assignment, okay, with some rider, and it's only Kaustubh who is regularly solving the assignments. What happened to the rest? Why did rest of you did not solve this assignment? And I tell you, Sagar, आपने क्या शेयर किया मेरे साथ? Kaustubh,
Hello,
what have you shared with me?
rent due TFC.
Look at this is what you have shared with me.
Sir, wait.
Rent due.txt. This is what is there inside the file. Please share the file once again.
Yes, sir.
Let's look at what Sagar has shared. Sagar, you have only accepted the data. But then the question was not about only accepting the data. If you look at Sagar's code, he is only accepting the data of all the tenants. But then at the end of the day, you're going to have information only about the last tenant. You don't have information on all the tenants. Because you are rewriting the value inside this variable. A variable can hold only a single value. So when you accept the next value in this variable, the previous value is lost. So you only have a single value in this particular variable, Sagar. So you actually need as many number of, just give me a minute, I'll close the window. Again, there is some noise. So, Rahul has also made an attempt to solve. Let's look at Rahul's solution. This is floor rent.txt. Those who do not have the solution, I'll share the solution problem statement with you. जिनके पास ये नहीं है. So it goes into two parts. So those amongst you who are not there, I have a serious doubt whether you can solve it now. But फिर भी actually हम लोग क्या solve कर रहे हैं वो तो पता चले. So I'm sharing this problem statement with you all. So those who are absent yesterday, please have a look at the problem statement. So I'm sharing the problem statement. This is the first part of the problem statement. And then there is a next part of the problem statement. So there's two slides. And I have shared both the slides with you. Okay. So those who did not have the problem, have a look at the problem statement. And let's proceed with the solution. For everyone to understand what the problem is, let's read the problem once. It's a Mr. Ganesh owns an apartment building with 5 floors, including basement. So there is one basement, and there are with 5 floors, including basement. So total 5 floors are there, including the basement. Okay. So including the basement, it is floor number 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of thing. The tenant file stores following details. We don't have files, so we're going to accept it from the user. The name of the tenant, the floor number, the apartment code. You are required to print bill for each tenant. Correct tenant का bill आपको print करना. The tenant charges are based on the floor of the building. तो floor number 0 पे रहेगा tenant, तो उसका charges 3,500. Floor number 1 पे रहेगा, तो उसका rent is per month is 4,000 rupees and so on. So write a program that prints each tenant's name and the rent that is due. तो हर एक tenant का नाम and rent that is due. Here, I'm going to introduce you to another new concept called as parallel arrays. Let's see if anybody had made use of this concept called as parallel arrays. So Rohit has also submitted the assignment. Okay, that's good to see. Here we go. So let's have a look at the solution that Rahul has submitted first. Well, this is your code.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see what is Rahul done. He says string tenant name, floor number, apartment code 50. ये क्यों है ये
सर रैंडमली
louder?
रैंडमली डाला है अपार्टमेंट बिल्डिंग के लिए तो सेम रहेगा ना
क्यों चाहिए apartment code?
तो प्रिंट करने बोला है ना अपार्टमेंट कोड
प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट है कहीं? अच्छा अपार्टमेंट का कोड भी है. ओके, दैट्स कांस्टेंट. ओके, टोटल टेनेंट्स 15. ये कहाँ से आ गए?
सर टेनेंट्स कितने होंगे
दिया है प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट?
नहीं दिया नहीं है अजूम
ऐसे कैसे अज्यूम कर सकते? Who are you to assume? ये टोटल टेनेंट 15 है. बिल्डिंग में कितने भी फ्लोर्स, 5 फ्लोर है, उसमें कितने भी टेनेंट्स हो सकते हैं आपको नहीं पता. वी डोंट इवन नो ऑन एवरी फ्लोर हाउ मेनी फ्लैट्स आर देयर, वो भी हमें पता नहीं है. हर एक फ्लोर पे 4 फ्लैट हो सकते हैं, हर एक फ्लोर पे 40 फ्लैट भी हो सकते हैं. So how can you assume total number of tenants? That's a wrong assumption first. Okay, देखते हैं. और then tenant counter है. Okay, number of floors है. Number of floors 10 कहाँ से आए? Number of floors कितने हैं? 5. ये 10 कहाँ से आ गए? 4th floor charges 3rd, 2nd, 1st, ground. तो अगर ये सही दिखा आपने तो यहाँ 10 कहाँ से आए? यहाँ it should have only been 5. Then the floor number in the range of 0 to number of floors minus 1. Number of floors 5 है, 5 minus 1 4 है. Calculate floor of floor number is equal to 0. What is this array meant for? बताइए मुझे जरा.
सर इंडेक्स कैलकुलेट करें
क्या
इंडेक्स
कैलकुलेट
वैल्यू
करने के लिए?
इंडेक्स वैल्यू
इंडेक्स.
यस सर जैसे 1 to 5 है तो
हाँ,
वो 1 फर्स्ट फ्लोर के लिए 0 वैल्यू, सेकंड फ्लोर के लिए 1, थर्ड फ्लोर के लिए 2, फोर्थ फ्लोर के लिए 3.
ये क्या है? फ्लोर क्या है वही पूछा मैं आपको. ये मैं समझा इंडेक्स है, आई अंडरस्टूड दिस, बट व्हाट इज दिस फ्लोर? व्हाट इज दिस एरे बीइंग यूज्ड फॉर? ये एरे किस बात के लिए आप यूज कर रहे हो?
फ्लोर काउंट करने के लिए सर,
पढ़ा?
फ्लोर काउंट करने के लिए, फ्लोर पे क्या
फ्लोर
है?
काउंट करने के लिए. एंड व्हाट इज दिस? इफ फ्लोर नंबर इज गिवन, रेंट ऑफ अमाउंट इज रुपीज सो एंड सो. रेंट फ्लोर नंबर 3 है तो रेंट ये है, फ्लोर नंबर 2 है तो रेंट ये है. ओके, तो आपने बड़ा सा इफ एल्स करके लिखा है, गिवन बिग इफ एल्स. ओके, एंड दैट टू इट इज नॉट नेस्टेड करेक्टली. व्हाई? अगर इफ है तो उसका एल्स उसी के लाइन में चाहिए, तो ये एल्स यहाँ चाहिए था, और इसका एंड इफ भी उसी लाइन में चाहिए. तो इफ एल्स एंड इफ शुड अपीयर इन द सेम लाइन. तो ऊपर वाला इफ है तो उसका एल्स यहाँ चाहिए था. So this representation is not right. So representation is very important, Rahul, very important. ये यहाँ चाहिए था, तो ये if है तो ये यहाँ चाहिए था, if का else यहाँ, तो उसका end if भी उसी के लाइन में चाहिए था. लाइकवाइज ये एनडी, ये वाला जो एनडी है, ये ऊपर वाले इफ के लाइन में चाहिए था समवेयर ओवर हियर, उसका एल्स भी उसी के लाइन में चाहिए था। ये वाला देखो एक एनडी आपने ज्यादा डाला है। दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन यू डू नॉट इंडेंट इट प्रॉपर्ली। अब ये एनडी हो गया, तो ये इफ, ये उसका एल्स और एनडी, ये इफ एल्स उसका एनडी, ये इफ एल्स उसका एनडी, एक इफ एल्स उसका एनडी, इफ एल्स एनडी, ये एक्स्ट्रा हो गया। तो दिस यू वुड नॉट रियलाइज जब तक आप सही तरीके से इंडेंट नहीं करोगे। मोमेंट यू इंडेंट, यू अंडरस्टैंड सच मिस्टेक्स दैट यू मे हैव कमिटेड। So you are supposed to print only the rent bill for each tenant, and you could ask the user how many tenants are there. You couldn't have made such assumption, and this fails my yesterday's teaching. ये तो ट्रेडिशनल वे से कोड होगा। कल हमने कुछ सीखा है, उसका आपने यहाँ इस्तेमाल नहीं किया है। That's not something which I appreciate, which I can appreciate. ये अच्छी बात नहीं है। कल जो हमने सीखा है वो अगर आप यूज नहीं करोगे तो ऐसे कोड का क्या फायदा है? That means you are doing unnecessary work. And the basic idea of yesterday's discussion was to, एक कहा गया unindent का है, unindent, decrease line indent, ये कुछ कोड इस तरीके से जाना चाहिए था, समथिंग लाइक दिस। अगर अननेसेसरी स्टफ है ये डिलीट कर देते हैं हम लोग। ये N4 है, okay, but anyway this is not right what you have done, but I still at least appreciate कि आपने कोशिश तो की है। यहाँ क्या गलत है, मैं let me highlight the mistakes that you have committed. Mistakes that you have committed is assume कि वहाँ 15 tenants है, आपने assume किया, very you could have asked. प्लस डिस्प्ले करते समय आपने सिर्फ वो कौन से फ्लोर कितना चार्ज क्या है वो डिस्प्ले किया है। यू हैवंट डिस्प्लेड द टेनेंट नेम, द टेनेंट बिल प्रिंट करना है, तो यू हैव टू बाय प्रिंटिंग द बिल, यू हैव टू प्रिंट द नेम ऑफ द टेनेंट, फ्लोर नंबर एंड अपार्टमेंट कोड, तीन चीजें प्रिंट करनी है। आपने तीन चीजें सेपरेटली प्रिंट नहीं किया है। ओके, you could have just accepted the data and later printed the bills of all the tenants, which you have not done right. So although answer तो आ रहा है, but आप ये एक्सेप्ट किया हुआ ही नाम दोबारा डिस्प्ले नहीं कर रही है, just accepting or not displaying. So there was a problem in this particular statement. Exam solution.
सर,
हाँ,
सर अपार्टमेंट कोड तो प्रिंट नहीं करने का है ना,
नहीं करना है
तो फिर लेके भी कोई फायदा नहीं।
मतलब,
वही,
since it is not been asked,
यस,
आपको प्रिंट क्या करना था? राइट अ प्रोग्राम दैट प्रिंट्स ईच टेनेंट्स नेम एंड रेंट ड्यू। आपको सिर्फ नेम और रेंट ड्यू प्रिंट करना है, बाकी भी नहीं प्रिंट करना है।
यस,
नाम क्या उसका, रेंट कितना है, वो नाम क्या उसका, रेंट कितना है। ओके, नाउ टू हेल्प यू सॉल्व दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम, लेट मी सी कौस्तुभ सॉल्यूशन एज वेल बिफोर वी गो अहेड।
सर मैंने भी अज्यूम किया था सर 5 tenants।
लेट अस स्टिल हैव अ लुक एट इट।
सर मैंने दो तरीके से सॉल्व किया। ये पहला और एक फाइल शेयर की थी जिसमें सीधा एरे लिया था फाइल नेम्स का।
ओके, दैट्स ओके, अगर लिया है तो, बट यहाँ कुछ किया ही नहीं है।
सर डायरेक्ट रेंट ड्यू फ्लोर नंबर से कैलकुलेट।
आप एक्सेप्ट करें, डिस्प्ले कहाँ कर रहे? टेनेंट नेम इज टेनेंट ड्यू, ओके, तो ओके, बट यहाँ एक्सेप्ट करते ही वो डिस्प्ले करे, करेक्ट?
यस सर।
Okay, that's one way to do it, and I cannot say this is wrong. Please enter the name of the tenant, please enter the floor number, and rent due is equal to rent of floor number. Very correct. Hello, this is your due amount. Perfect. That's how simple the solution was.
फिर लेकिन फिर वो 5 ही टेनेंट का नाम लेगा ना।
हाँ ना, तो अभी ये आपने क्या किया, फॉर फ्लोर काउंटेड यूज ऑफ 0, ये गलती है. So let's solve this particular problem. But before I solve this problem, let me also introduce you to one more concept. Now, if I introduce you to that particular concept, that will probably help you understand how to use arrays. Multiple arrays है, उनको हम लोग कैसे use करें to get an understanding of it. Let me discuss one more concept for you. The additional concept of arrays that I'll discuss with you all today is a concept of parallel arrays. Now, what exactly do you mean by parallel array? Let's understand. Each element in one array is associated with element in the same relative position in another array. So there can be two arrays. Both arrays store some values. But the first element in the first array is somehow associated with the first element in the second array, which is somehow associated with the first element in the third array. So you may have multiple arrays, but at relative position inside that array, the values which are stored are somehow related to each other. Okay. For example, you can have item numbers in one array and the prices in another array. Means, I'm talking something like this. There could be a scenario that you have one array. Here you go. You have this one array. In this array, and there is another array. These are two different arrays. These are two different arrays. I understand. These are two different arrays. And there are some elements in both the arrays. So this is the first one over here. This is the first one over here. Then this is the second, and this is second over here. Likewise, this third, and this is also third. Likewise, this is fourth, and this is also fourth. This is fifth, and this is also fifth. But then, if I'm storing some values, say I store over here value as 10. I store over here value as 10. Assume karo. I store here value as 10. I store over here value as 11. Here I have stored value as 12. Here I have stored value as 15. Then I have 20. And then I have suppose 21. Suppose these are the values. But then this could have been roll numbers of some students who have appeared for some test. This could have been roll numbers of some students who have appeared for test. So I could call this particular array as array of roll numbers. I could call this array as array of roll number. In the same fashion, you could have had another array over here. And in this array, we could have stored their marks. Say this student had secured 77 marks. This fellow had secured 89 marks. This student had secured 56 marks. The other student had secured 66 marks. The other one could have been 91 marks. And the last one is the smartest, 98 marks. But then these are two different arrays. But the element at index number 0, suppose if these were marks of Rahul, roll number of Rahul, then over here in the second array, at the 0th position, you'll find marks of Rahul. If the first element in this particular array of roll number, if these were roll number of Aditya, then in the second array, which is an array of marks, the position 1 represents marks for Aditya. If the third position that we had were was the roll number, so the third position index number 2, or AB index number 2. If the third position over here was the roll number of Ashish, then these are marks of Ashish. If the fourth position over here is roll number of Uday, then this is marks of Uday. These are parallel arrays. So we have arrays and corresponding elements in both the arrays are related to each other. So we have this concept of parallel arrays. So if I have two arrays, valid item numbers and valid item price, each price in the valid item price array is same position as the corresponding item in the valid item number array. Look through valid items of the array for customer items. When match is found, get the price of the item in the array and so on. So there we can use them in different ways. Now, having understood this particular concept, let's have a look at our problem statement once again. So we'll understand the problem statement and we'll see, can I use parallel arrays over here to address to my issue? So the problem that we had over here was this. We are told Mr. Ganesh owns an apartment building with 5 floors, including basement. So 5 floor की building है. including basement. And 0 is basement, 1, 2, 3, 4 other. The tenant file stores following details: name of the tenant, number of floors, and apartment codes. You are required to print a rent bill for each tenant. And this is the chart that has been given for floor number 0 pe hai, so this is the rent per month, floor number 1 pe hai, so this is the rent per month, and so on. Now let's try and address or solve this particular problem. What I'll do is I'll take one of your code where something has been typed and I'll go ahead working on the same code. So floor rent.txt hai. So let's see what are changes we can make. So we are really not interested in the apartment code. So let's get rid of apartment code because that's of no use anywhere. We definitely require variable as the number of tenants. So I'll say number of tenants. So I require a variable called as number of tenants. Probably I could also have a tenant counter. Okay, kitne tenants hai. Then we have number of floors, that's 5. Okay. Then I have floor number. This doesn't make any sense. Floor number. So I'll just delete this because it does not convey anything. That name is bad. Then you have some constants that you have defined. The floor charge for first, fourth floor, and so on. So what I could do is I could create an array. I could say I will have an array, probably of type integer. And this array I'm going to name. I'll say floor rent array. Floor rents. This array is of size number of floors. So this array is of size number of floors. Number of floors 5 hai. So the array is of size number of floors. And this array, all elements are initialized. So for the 0th floor, we have charges 3,500. So ground floor ka charge hai 3,500. I had shown you yesterday how to initialize this array. Next floor ka charge hai 4,000. Next floor ka charge hai 4,750. Next floor ka charge hai 6,000. Next floor ka charge hai 10,000. So these are various charges that we have. So I don't need these variables. So now I have array. This I could make array of constants as well. So I could make constant. I do not plan to change these names. So I could just say, so I could have this array which is constant integer. Array is also very constant, floor rent. And floor rent of number of floors. The first floor, 0th floor will have this first, second, third, and fourth. So we have created this. Then I'm going to accept from the user some details. Okay. And I would also like to store the names of the tenants. So now, depending on how many tenants we have, we'll have to either accept and display it there and there itself, or we'll have to store it into another array. So we have this floor rent array, and there the number of floors are fixed, so I could create one. So parallel array ki shayad yahan zarurat hi nahi hai. So I first ask the user how many tenants are there. We will first ask display. We ask you please enter the total number of tenants. I'll accept the total number of tenants. So I'll say number of tenants. I'll not take it as constant. I'll take number of tenants. I'll say number of tenants. So पहले हमने number of tenants accept कर लिया. Then for every tenant we'll have to accept. So I say for tenant counter in the range of 1 क्यों करे? I'll say 0. Okay, 1. To total tenants की जगह I have number of tenants now. तो जितने tenants है उतनी बार ये loop run करेगा step 1. And I don't want this apartment code or something like that right now. Okay, I am asking enter the name of the tenant number, tenant counter. Okay, enter the name of tenant number 1. Okay, you are accepting the tenant name. Enter the floor number of the tenant. Okay, enter the floor number of tenant. Tenant name कहाँ से आएगा tenant name? Okay, उस बंदे का नाम दे रहे. Okay, so what I could do is I could rather write a statement something slightly different. थोड़ा सा अलग कुछ करते हैं. What I'll do is I'll say display Watch it. Huh? I said enter details of tenant number, tenant counter. Tenant counter for the first time is 1. So I'll say enter the details of tenant count, tenant number 1. और यहाँ उसका नाम पूछेंगे सिर्फ, ये बाकी सारा कुछ नहीं लिखेंगे. So we are asking for the details. What's the name? Okay. So or enter the name. And we're going to accept the tenant name. Then we're going to display message saying enter the floor number of the tenant. So we're saying enter the tenant name, we accept tenant name, enter the floor number of the tenant. तो उसका जो भी फ्लोर नंबर रहेगा हमने फ्लोर नंबर एक्सेप्ट कर लिया. Then I'm not going to do this nonsense things. ये नहीं चाहिए. I directly want to display the result. I directly want to display the result. So how are we going to do that? Then I'm not going to count any of this. ये कुछ count करने की जरूरत नहीं है. I'll say display rent of the tenant name. Is क्या चाहिए आपको? टेनेंट का नाम और उसका रेंट ड्यू चाहिए. The rent of tenant name is rupees. रुपीस क्या आएगा? आएगा फ्लोर नंबर भी नहीं चाहिए हमें, वेरिएबल भी नहीं चाहिए हमें. नंबर ऑफ फ्लोर्स 5 चाहिए, या इसके लिए कांस्टेंट इज रुपीस. आई विल से फ्लोर रेंट ऑफ फ्लोर नंबर. So here, when we ask user enter the floor number, there are 5 floors that we have given. So here I'll give a hint to the user. 1 to 5 फ्लोर के अंदर का आप नंबर मुझे दीजिएगा. बट फर्स्ट फ्लोर आपके लिए नंबर 0 है. तो इन दिस केस I'll say -1. So there are 5 floors, correct? User 1 to 5 कुछ भी एंटर करेगा, बट फ्लोर नंबर 1 is the first one. तो जब वो 1 एंटर करेगा तो मैं 0 कहूंगा. तो फ्लोर रेंट ऑफ 0 ये है, वो प्रिंट किया जाएगा. किसी का रोल नंबर 3rd है, तो आपने कहा मैं 3rd फ्लोर पे रहता हूँ, तो फ्लोर नंबर ले लिया. तो आई एम वो संजय है सपोज, तो आई से रेंट ऑफ संजय इज रुपीज फ्लोर रेंट ऑफ 2, बिकॉज ये 0 है, ये 350 है, ये 1 है और ये 2 है, 3rd है. 3rd रेंट आ गया. दैट्स हाउ वी डिस्प्ले. Nothing more was required. That's how simple the problem was. So you could have taken an array, which has all the rents. We could ask the user the name of the tenant and store the name. We could ask him to enter the floor number, but we have this rent details. The moment we get that, I can just say rent of tenant number so and so is floor rent of floor rent, room rent, whatever it is, floor rent of फ्लोर नंबर -1. तो फ्लोर नंबर 5 देगा, बोलेगा तो 4 देना आपको. 0 1 2 3 4. फ्लोर नंबर 1 कहेगा तो आपको 0 देना है. बस 1 - 1 is 0. 1 - 1 0, यानी 3500 is the rent that he is supposed to pay. Have you all understood this?
सर वो फ्लोर नंबर डिक्लेयर नहीं किया.
फ्लोर नंबर डिक्लेयर नहीं किया या डिलीट किया मैंने गलती से. Floor number. Have you understood this logical ability? It was a simple, straightforward solution that we could have used to solve it.
सर
बोलो.
सर वो फ्लोर नंबर नीचे एक्सेप्ट किया है, बट इफ इट इज 0 देन यू हैव रिटन 1 to 5.
हाँ, बिकॉज फ्लोर 5 है ना, यूजर थोड़ी ना 0 फ्लोर नंबर कहेगा। आपको पता गया है कि देयर आर 5 फ्लोर्स, तो यूजर 5वां फ्लोर डालेगा तो आपके लिए वो 4 है ना, ये 0, ये 1, ये 2, ये 3 और ये 4।
हाँ सर।
तो जब उसने 1 डाला तो आपके लिए वो 0 बन जाएगा, 1 - 1 is 0 and you print it.
यस सर।
Have you all understood this? Quick feedback. डाउट है तो पूछिएगा। So I'm sharing this code with you all. अब एक थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग असाइनमेंट मैं आपको दे रहा हूँ। I share the file with you all. I hope you all have received the file.
यस सर।
Okay. So there's another very interesting assignment that I'm sharing with you all. I had thought of giving it as an assignment, but then I assignments यानी घर में solve करने के लिए। But I leave it open for you to solve it right now. Now this will require a bit of thinking. So I want you to think clearly, discuss it before even you make an attempt to solve it. So I'm throwing open the books, sharing the file with you all. ये पहले प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट मिला कि आप बताइए मुझे। array exercise करके एक फाइल है शेयर, have you all received array exercise.txt?
नो सर,
नहीं मिला?
आया सर अभी।
Okay, so keep that file downloaded. I am opening the groups for you all. Start discussing this assignment. And once you have formed the strategy, then go ahead solving it. So let me now break you onto groups. Before I break you onto the groups, anybody has any question about whatever we had done the last example? Okay. If you're hearing no queries, let's go into various groups. Okay. So I'm opening the rooms for you all. Get into the meeting and discuss this particular problem statement first. And pseudo code चाहिए. Join your groups, please. Yes, by solving this particular problem. Because none of you have gone ahead of declaring the variables. Okay, all stuck up in declaring the variables. So please share with me what is the difficulty that you are facing.
सर
हाँ.
प्रॉब्लेम नीट कळत नाही सर। म्हणजे
Problem कळत नाहीये.
एक म्हणजे हे तर कळालंय सर, कारण आपल्याला आहे ना टोटल नंबर ऑफ कस्टमर्स ओव्हर 14 डेजचा डेटा आपण इनपुट घेऊ शकतो,
Okay.
कारण त्यांनी E4चा कॅल्क्युलेट केलेला आहे। तर त्यानुसार आपण अज्युम करू की त्यांनी टोटल नंबर देतात आपल्याला ते इनपुट, त्यानुसार आपण ॲव्हरेज काढू शकतो 14
Okay.
डेजचा।
Okay.
आणि आपण असं करू शकतो की आपण देतानाच एका दिवसाचा मिनिमम म्हणजे मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉईज नीडेड एका दिवसाचा देऊ शकतो, कारण सर ते खूप मोठं होऊन जाईल पर आवर द्यायला।
मोठा होऊन जाईल तर चॉईस नाही आहे ना. The calculations are done on that basis. So can you reduce the things? If that is the strategy that the hotel is using, so you'll have to follow that strategy, na? Just because the program size is increasing will you skip some logic? Means will you change their strategy?
तर मग ऍरे 14 दिवसाचा डिफाईन करू शकतो, बट कॅल्क्युलेट कसं करू शकतो की मिनिमम म्हणजे नंबर आरच्या हिशोबाने डेटा देता येईल, पण ते कन्फ्युजिंग होते तेच प्रॉब्लेम.
Okay. Other team? Team 3?
सर
हा.
तर ते पर आवर ने डिवाइड कसं होणार मग जर त्यांनी डेजचं दिलंय ना, आता कौस्तुभ जे म्हणत होता ते जे फायनल जे एम्प्लॉईज आहेत ते आपल्याला कस्टमरच्या टोटल वरूनच करता येईल ना.
Correct.
मग ते सर पर डेचा ऍव्हरेज काढता येईल पण आरच इश्यू आहे.
Okay. Team 1? Team 1?
तर आमची टीम कुठली होती?
तुम्हालाच माहिती आहे. तुम्ही कोणाची टीम होता? मोनिका, रोहित, पृथ्वीराज इनकी टीम में कौन था?
मैं था सर.
आप ही थे. Then team 3? Team 3 सो गए क्या?
नहीं सर. सर इसमें एक ये हो सकता है कि आप पहले 24 कस्टमर के 24 आवर्स का एक अरे बना लो.
हाँ.
इसमें आप 24 आवर्स में जितने कस्टमर्स आए वो स्टोर कर सकते हो.
हाँ.
और उसके बाद आप उसका बाद में जितने 24 आवर्स में एम्प्लॉय नीडेड है, मतलब आपको 20 दिया गया कि 20 कस्टमर्स पे आपको ये लग रहे हैं, एक एम्प्लॉय लग रहा है, तो उस हिसाब से आपके जितने कस्टमर्स आए उससे आप डिवाइड करके एवरेज निकाल सकते हो एक दिन का. फिर आप
नहीं
उसको
ना,
14 days
वो हर घंटे का एवरेज चाहिए हमें, दिन का नहीं चाहिए एवरेज. अब 24 आवर्स का एवरेज नहीं चाहिए.
हाँ तो सर वो मतलब आपको जिस जिस घंटे का एवरेज मिला है ना, आप उसको डिवाइड बाय
तो एवरेज कहाँ से
20
मिलेगा
करके.
हर घंटे का?
अब आप इनपुट ले रहे हो ना यूजर से.
एवरेज डायरेक्टली
इसका-
यूजर थोड़ी
नहीं
कैलकुलेट
नहीं
करेगा.
नहीं नहीं एवरेज नहीं, एवरेज का कस्टमर्स पर आवर.
कस्टमर पर आ रहे तो वो तो एक दिन का होगा.
हाँ.
Okay. That means problems need not be straightforward always. They can be quite tricky. I introduce you concept of parallel arrays, and this is an extreme example of parallel arrays. If you could not figure out, if somebody would have told me, sir, ऐसे parallel arrays हमें use करने होंगे, I could have gone ahead with the solution. But still, you're finding it difficult to understand how that concept can be used or what is the way forward. So what I'll do is, just to reduce the botheration slightly, I'll give one more statement. This is slightly simpler or quite simpler than what we have done. Let's see, can you solve this particular problem? So I'll come back to the what I want in the last example, the example that you're currently thinking. I was not really expecting the solution. I was not expecting the solution. I was expecting you to identify the difficulty in the solution. कि डिजाइन करते समय क्या दिक्कत आ रही है. So once you understand what you need, आपकी दिक्कत क्या है, then if I give you an idea, वो ज़्यादा दिन stick होती है. And somehow most of you are not identified difficulty क्या है इस example में. So I leave it this particular question aside. I want you to think over it. Even if you don't get the solution, I'm okay with that. But challenge क्या है वो identify कर दिए. Okay. So to help you out, what I'll do is I'll share another simpler problem statement with you all. So ये वाला problem statement लीजिएगा देखो. This is quite simpler. Have you all received the problem statement? संजय क्या कहना चाहते हैं आप?
वो प्रॉब्लम में है ना 20 कस्टमर एडिशनल लग रहे हैं.
Correct.
एडिशनल 20 कस्टमर आने के बाद एक एम्प्लॉय लगने वाला है.
Correct.
तो वो पता नहीं चल रहा है कि कितने कस्टमर के बाद वो 20 वो कंसिडर करना.
Okay, that's one challenge. इससे भी ज्यादा important कुछ और है. आपको हिंट देता हूँ, आपके पास डेटा ही आप सही तरीके से स्टोर नहीं एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहे. जब तक आपके पास डेटा नहीं है, you cannot do any kind of what do you say analysis. It was more about analysis. But keep that problem statement aside. जरा रात को सोते समय दोबारा पढ़ लीजिएगा. This is a simpler example that now you can think over. So if all of you have downloaded the example, I'll open up the rooms once again. Have you downloaded the example, everybody?
Yes, sir.
So the rooms are open. Join the rooms. and take this one. And I hope you solve this example. Okay, now there were two problems that were given, and we tried and made an attempt to solve this one. The first one was a bit complex, but the second was not that really complex. Wind speed. It was actually very simple and straightforward. But then it is important. Oh, Viraj has solved it. Viraj, हो गया है आपका?
नो सर, जितना हुआ उतना भेजा. सर जेवढं झालं तेवढं पाठवलं.
अच्छा, मला मी बघत होतो ना, झालं नाही कोणाचं.
नाही.
Okay. So what I would strongly suggest to you all is, you have to reach to the answer. यानी solution तो आना चाहिए. Efficient है नहीं है, that we can improve on it. But you cannot leave these solutions halfway through. कि मैंने छोड़ दिया ऐसे नहीं होगा. The trait of a developer is one particular trait we all should have. Never give up. यानी developer वो है, हार नहीं मानेगा कभी. Till the last moment, he will make an attempt to solve that particular question. तो वो attitude हमारा चाहिए, not to give up. क्या रे ये हुआ नहीं है, so I'll give up. ये नहीं चलेगा. So what I would strongly suggest to you all is, you know who your team members are. Okay. You send a link on our group, connect, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, before tomorrow's session, and make sure that you solve this. Individually solve मत करो. Individually दिमाग लगाओ चाहे तो, but do it in your team and come up with a team solution even before you attend the next session. I'll not give you any more assignments as of today. Okay, don't solve the first one. That's okay. The second one that I've given is actually very simple. I don't know whether because of that first assignment, are you thinking about, अरे यहाँ कुछ tricky है क्या? It's actually straightforward. So don't give unnecessary weightage to the problem statement. Read the problem statement, whatever it says, accept it and just start solving. Sagar made some very clear observation. I don't remember कौन सी team में है Sagar, but his observations were right. Your solution should be based on the facts which have been given to you. So no assumptions to be made. So whatever the problem statement is saying, just design a solution based on the facts which have been given to you. Why think beyond what has not been given to you? And when you are not very clear, ask the customer. आपके लिए मैं client हूँ, so you could ask me some question, sir. What is about this? So ask the question, because sometimes when you gather information, you don't have enough information, or there is some ambiguity, some confusion. So ask intelligent questions to your customer, gather information, and then proceed with the development of the solution. Okay, so my advice is, आप convenient time देख लीजिएगा आपका, अपने अपने ग्रुप के साथ दोबारा कनेक्ट कीजिएगा. It's too late right now. सुबह कर लीजिएगा. You decide. You can chat on our group. That's okay. You don't have to create a separate group. ऐसा कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You could just say you are team 1, you are team 2, you are team 3 है, and then you can just say Kaustubh sending message. So you could say @team 3, yeah, team 1, and he could send a message. You could share a link, maybe a Zoom link for 45 minutes is open for all of you. Personal meeting share करो, discuss करो, and see the result of that discussion. It has to be a teamwork. You are never ever in your life going to work independently. You'll always be a part of the team. Your contribution is very important. How good a team member you are, that's one of the major criteria for people being selected in the industry today. Are you a team man? So show that you are a team man, you have an opportunity. So I stop today's session over here. There is very little that I have to discuss in this topic. मुझे चाहिए कि assignment solve करें. पहला वाला assignment कैसे solve करना है उसका hint मैं कल दूंगा in the next session. So don't solve the first assignment, solve the second one at least. और पहले वाले के लिए क्या करना है, I'll teach you tomorrow. Okay, something additional. What was the problem? I'll tell you the problem. I'll tell you the solution also. Okay, had you identified the problem today, I would have told you the solution, but आप लोगों ने problem identify नहीं किया. If you can solve the second problem quickly, then at least identify what was the problem, difficulty कहाँ थी पहले problem में, वो जरा सोचो. And if you, I appreciate अगर आप सिर्फ मुझे पहले problem का challenge क्या था वो मुझे identify करके भी बताओगे ना कल, I still appreciate. Challenge क्या था? Okay, and then I'll tell you the solution, उसको कैसे handle किया जाए. So on that note, we'll stop here today. Thank you all for attending the session. See you tomorrow at same time, and hope that we wind up with this particular topic tomorrow. So ये assignment solve हो जानी चाहिए. So take care. Love you all. Bye bye.